Welcome back if you're still with me, everyone. This is day 7. Just going to recap quickly on day 6. So we introduced the wall press over there for exercising the front compartment, the chest, the shoulders, the backs of the arms as well. I introduced the tandem stand, the heel to toe. We were testing out how we can reduce the surface area to challenge our balance. What I'm going to introduce on day 7 is the tandem walk. So I introduced tandem stand yesterday. We're gonna play around with how we can create more challenge through traveling exercises. We're gonna get to that in a moment, but let's recap on the journey we've had so far. So let's begin from a standing position. We began seated last time. I've got a bit more energy today. I'm gonna make sure, again, I always need to make sure I'm in shot that you can see me. Okay, so we're back behind our chairs. We're gonna get a little warm up going. So let's get the march started. Again, we're going from toe to heel, toe to heel. Remember again how we can play around with things like range of motion, getting the knees up a little bit higher, maybe going a little bit faster or a little bit slower, depending on how we're feeling and what areas we need to warm up. Ankles, knees, hips. We all need to show maybe the left side or the right side a little bit more attention, and relax from me there into those arms. Same thing. We can reach out further if we want, or we can do shallower swings. We can increase the pace, or we could decrease the pace. There's a lot of variation here, but we're just making sure again that we're getting nice and warm, prepped for exercise. And 3, 2, 1, little relax there. Heart rate is elevated, blood is going around to those working muscles. Make sure you're nice and supple, ready for exercise. Joints are moving, but we'll fully do that in the mobility. Let's begin with some side bends. We haven't done side bends in a while, so I'm gonna come in front of you so you can see. Support option is here, but it's your choice if you want to hold on with one hand or not. I'm going to do no hands today, challenge myself. Feet can be a little bit wider than shoulder width apart, again having a nice wide base. I could probably do this without the chair so you can get a better view. Nice open chest, side of your choice. I'm just reaching down. You're feeling that stretch on the one side, coming up to center, coming down to the opposite side, feeling that stretch, coming back to middle. First side, stretching down and center, opposite side and center, really good. Back to the original side, stretching down, feeling those muscles, really taking that spine through the full range of motion. Once more for each side, coming down, reaching. You might even feel this a little bit in the lower back as well. Those muscles can be quite tight. Other side. And up nice and tall. Really good. Again, like I say, getting that movement from side to side when we're reaching things near us. We take for granted these small movements. Since we're doing balance, we should do some heel to toes, I think. So pop your heel on the floor, pop the toe on it, heel, toe. Going to reiterate, we're trying to hit the same spot, heel, toe. The ankle is the one that's moving through its full range, not the knee. That can be a common mistake, is moving the knee more than the ankle. So you can see if you just bring all your attention to my ankle, I'm just moving that ankle, just really getting that heel, getting that toe on it. Heel, toe, heel, toe. Once more for luck, heel and toe. Really good. I'm feeling good. I've got some movement in my spine. I've got some movement in my ankles as well, ready for some balance. But here, again, I will reiterate, we would do endurance, we would do some marching, we would do some arm swinging, we would do some side steps, we would do some toe taps, elevating the heart rate, exercising the lungs, exercising the heart. Due to time constraints, I'm trusting you that you are engaging in some endurance before we move on to the balance. We are going to begin with the exercise I wanted to introduce. So I'm just going to remind us that we're going to begin with the tandem stance, excuse me. So hopefully we can all see my feet, that's good. And we are having a heel to toe starting position, and how that reducing that surface area can make us feel a little bit wobbly. But today, what we're going to do, what I think I'm going to do, we're going to introduce that first, and then we're going to try a traveling one with the help of this side support here. Hopefully all that light hasn't obscured the view. But again, make sure we have our side option. You can see me stood side on, hand of your left hand on the support option. That back foot is that front toe, and the other foot's back heel. They're meeting together. We're reducing our surface area. If you can imagine a tightrope, we're trying to stand on this tightrope. I want to stand here for 10 seconds, testing out the balance, and you can start to reduce how much reliance you have on that support option until you have no hands. But again, remember it's there, holding that, making sure the chest is up, looking forward. I was coming down here, but I need to make sure that my center of gravity is over the base. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, back to standing. You're going to notice some tension in the calf muscles as they work to stabilize you. Opposite side now. Oh, no, what am I doing? Again, making sure that back toe is meeting that front heel, standing side on. You can still see. Nice tall posture, open chest. I have my support here, but I'm starting to reduce my reliance on it until I can stand freely. But I am going to notice I'm going to be a little bit wobbly. My hand can grip the support option if needed, holding for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and to standing. Really good. Remember about the variable changes here. If you're finding it challenging, reduce the time, do 5 seconds instead of 10. If you're finding it easy, increase the time, maybe you do 15 seconds rather than 10, or maybe you add another set, so then you go and do another 10. What we're going to do now is introduce the tandem walk, or the tightrope walk, which I feel illustrates it better. So I'm going to get rid of this, first of all. What I will say is, because we are traveling, it's a traveling exercise, we're going to want a support option like the one I have on the side here that's coming quite a distance. I'm wary of the light, and hopefully you can still see me. But what you could do is get a chair, like so. You can get another high back chair, so you have a support option constantly with you. But this serves my purpose quite well, and hopefully you can see. We're going to start right at the back. Again, hands on your support option, looking at those feet, the back toe and then the front heel, they're meeting. My chest is open, I'm looking forward exactly where I'm going. My eyes on the horizon, I'm not coming down here, otherwise I'm going to feel a little bit more wobbly. But we're going to travel in this direction, okay? So you can have the hand up to balance a little bit. The back foot, that's coming around and forward to meet the front toe. That foot again is coming around to meet the toe. I'm coming nice and gently, traveling forwards. And once I get to the end, I come to standing. I turn around. Hopefully it's not too dark and you can still see me. Again, we're traveling back this way. Front foot meets the back toe. And again, we're traveling this direction. I have my support option here. I'm coming forward to meet the toe, heel to toe, heel to toe, heel to toe, and then come to standing. Really good exercise to challenge how we're challenge our balance when we're moving. When we feel wobbly, when we feel a little bit unbalanced, it can be when we're traveling, like I kind of referenced in the previous video. If you imagine going down a pavement and you're trying to squeeze in between two people, you're noticing your surface area is reduced. It's like you're walking on a tightrope, and you can feel either way, more weight going this side, more weight going the other, and you can feel a little bit imbalanced. So that's a really good exercise to engage in, making sure we have a long surface area, practicing the heel to toe walking. And then as you get more confident, you can start to reduce your reliance on it. Maybe you have your hands out a little bit further like this. Again, just playing around with the variations. What we're going to move into now is some knee bends. We're going to keep with our balance. We're going to reintroduce the chair. We're going to do some knee bends. And making sure we've got a nice profile view. Feet a little bit wider than hip width apart, open chest, tall head, straight back. And again, I'm sinking into that wide base by just dropping the hips backwards, like bending the knees, coming up nice and tall. Come a little bit further back if you feel like you're arching a bit too much, but again, hips go back, slight bend in the knees, and up. We're going to play with the variables again today. We're going to go for 8. We usually do 5, but let's try for 8. So let's go for 3. Bottoms coming back, slight bend in the knees, pushing up off those heels nice and tall. Bottoms coming back, slight bend in the knees, coming up nice and high. Other things we can play around with is how deep we're taking the knee bends, the squat. So if you can imagine, just for education here, if I'm going quite deep, that's going to be quite challenging. If I'm just going quite shallow, it's going to be a little bit easier. So again, be very mindful of your own personal abilities and tailor to. Let's go, let's say that's 4. Bottoms coming back, little bend in the knees, pushing off the heels, nice and tall. 5, bottoms coming back, slight bend in the knees, pushing up, nice and tall. Let's go 6. Bottoms coming back, bend the knees, push. You should really feel that pressure coming up off the heels. Bottoms coming back, little bend in the knees, pushing up to standing. Last one now. Bottom back, imagine sitting in that small chair, but no, pushing up nice and tall to standing. Excellent, excellent work. That was a lot of balance, making sure the lighting's still good. That was a lot of balance work today. For that section, excuse me. We're going to introduce some strength now. We're going to go into our heel raises, and we're also going to do some sets of sit to stands, which I think are always important. Or what we could do, now that we're on day 7 and we have quite a arsenal of exercises under our belt, we can substitute that in. So if you didn't want to do the sit to stands, you could do some wall presses. Or if you didn't want to do the heel raises, you could do some wall presses. We have that facility now. We have options. It's nice to have options. But if you're with me, we're going to try and go for a set of 10 heel raises now. So we're going to do 1 set, but we're going to go for 10. Remember, we did 10 yesterday, but we did it in 2 sections. So we're going to go for the full 10 altogether. Open chest, straight back, tall head. Think about those toes, and again, we can add the reach if we want, but let's just do it from basic start. So we're pushing up onto that big toe, and remember that control, ladies and gents, controlling. Number 2, we can add the reach in there, pushing up onto that big toe, reaching high, control, back down to those heels. Number 3, pushing up onto the big toe, reaching up, feeling the contraction, coming back down. Let's go 4, pushing up onto the toes, nice and tall, and with control down. 5, pushing up, pushing up, pushing up, reaching up, coming back onto those heels. We can swap the arm over now, pushing up onto those toes, reaching nice and high, and controlling that body weight back. Let's go 6, reaching up nice and tall, and coming back down. 7, coming up, squeezing those calves, coming down. Remember again, my head isn't dropping, I'm looking exactly where I'm going. We're up for 8, push, 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 and coming down under control. If you do need to take a pause, please take a pause. But if you're still with me, let's go 9, pushing up, and coming back down. Last one now. Get ready for the pause. So we're pushing up, but pausing up here for 2, 1, and control back down. Excellent work there. Really good if we all did that together. But again, I will reiterate, we're in competition with no one apart from ourselves from the day before or the week before. We want to challenge and push ourselves. But we do not want to compare to other people. We're not all born the same. We all have different limitations. We all have different special abilities. So it's very important to be mindful of that. Let's move into some sit to stands now. Or if you want to do some wall presses, please be my guest. But if you want to do some sit to stands with me, we did quite a lot of balance work. So we're just going to do one set of 5. Keep it nice and simple. So come round to the back of the chair, feel for the knees, hips come down, arms to meet the chair. And again, shuffling forward, nose over toes, heels on either side. 3, 2, 1, pushing up the heels, nice and tall. Paddle the feet, always with the paddling of the feet. We want to avoid any dizziness, any faintness. Walking back, feeling for the chair, hips come back, hands come to meet the chair. Remember that control, ladies and gents. Hip walking forward, heels underneath, hands either side, nose over toes. 3, 2, 1, pushing up, nice and tall, and we're paddling, and we're paddling, and we're coming back. We're meeting the chair, hips come back, hands to meet the chair, and relaxing. Let's go. I believe this is 4. Please correct me. Well, you can't correct me if I'm wrong, but please correct and add another set if I'm skipping ahead. Nose over toes, and 3, 2, 1, pushing up off the heels nice and tall, and we're paddling, making sure that blood is traveling up towards the brain, reoxygenating, feeling for the back of the chair, hips come back, nice and controlled. Last one now, final push. Hip walking forward, edge of the 3rd chair, and nose over toes. 3, 2, 1, pushing through the heels, palms, nice and tall, and to standing, my friends. Hopefully now we're feeling nice, and maybe the muscles are feeling a little bit more fatigued. So we're going to take ourselves through a stretch now. Please come back to your chair. We're going to do the hamstring stretch. We haven't done that in a while. Remember, we're still exercising that control when we sit down. I'm going to change the angle here so we can all see. I'm wearing of it going dark through the window glare. One long leg, one bent knee. Hands can go on that bent knee. And again, we're just very gently, that chest is coming forward over the knee. We're searching for some tension in the back of that long leg. And you're going to know when you found it. And once we've found it, hold it there for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Opposite foot now, nice and long. Hands again on that bent knee. We're making sure our eyes are on the horizon. We're not dropping the head downwards. We're keeping forward, but it's the chest that's coming gently over, searching for that tension. You're going to know when you found it, holding it there. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and coming up nice and tall. Let's do one for the arms. We haven't done arms in a while, so I'm going to do this so we can all see, but you can do it in the same position as seated. So arm of your choice, and those fingers are going to come meet the shoulder. The opposite fingers are just going to come meet the elbow, and you're going to see I'm very, 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 excuse me, tongue-tied today, very gently just pushing up on that elbow, and I'm searching for that tension in the back of the arm here. And you might even feel it go down into your back. We're holding that there. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming down nice and controlled. Other hand meeting that shoulder. Opposite fingers just resting on the edge of that elbow. And when we're just pressing it up, searching for again that tension in the back of the arm. You might even feel it go down into the back, holding it there. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax there. Excellent stuff. That brings day 7 to a close. So we have 8, 9, and 10 left. Just recapping again how we can introduce some traveling challenges to our balance, because we realize it's not always a static position when we lose our balance. It's normally when we're walking and when we're moving. So it's important we challenge that in in its appropriate dynamic environment. I hope you found value in this video, and let's get ready for day 8 tomorrow.